Kegelmaster is quick, it's discreet, because you get feedback, you know it's working. It builds your confidence level. I would recommend it to anyone having problems.
Don't take that step to diapers. It's not necessary. This is a way for you to avoid that for the rest of your life.
When I heard about the Kegelmaster, I thought, well, there's a way that I can possibly improve my situation, because the doctor didn't seem to feel that another surgery was the answer.
If you're watching this video, it means you've made an exciting and important purchase, the Kegelmaster. I'd like to congratulate you for taking this step toward helping your body and achieving a renewed sense of confidence and freedom. This tasteful video is going to explain the various parts of the device, what they are and what they do, and also provide instructions for operating the Kegelmaster. After that, we'll be answering some of the most frequently asked questions about the Kegelmaster. There are 3 basic parts to this video. In part 1, I'll explain how to set up, care for, and use your Kegelmaster. In part 2, I'll answer some of the most frequently asked questions. And part 3 is an expanded version of a doctor-guided group discussion about the Kegelmaster. We recommend that you watch the instructional segments of the video all the way through before trying out your Kegelmaster for the first time. It'll only take about 10 minutes. This will help you be familiar with the proper setup and use. And we also highly recommend the group discussion at the end, because it will help you feel more knowledgeable and confident about your body and your Kegelmaster. Before we begin, please take a moment to listen to the following important medical information.
It's great that you've chosen to do something to help your body. I'd like to go over a few important points about the Kegelmaster. Not everyone should use the Kegelmaster. Women in their first trimester of pregnancy and new moms who are less than 6 weeks postpartum should not use the Kegelmaster. The device is designed to be safe for pregnant women in their second and third trimesters, but always consult your physician prior to starting use. Women who've had any pelvic surgery should also wait at least 6 weeks and consult with their physician before beginning use. Women using intravaginal devices such as a pessary or a diaphragm should not use the Kegelmaster. The Kegelmaster is safe to use on your period, but you should not use tampons while you're doing your Kegelmaster exercises. It is safe to use the Kegelmaster if you use an IUD. And don't be alarmed if you notice a bit of spotting when you first start using this device. This is especially common in menopausal women. And as with the use of any medical device, stay in tune with your body. If you have any concerns, discontinue use until you feel confident that your questions have been answered.
All right, let's get started. You may want to have your Kegelmaster with you so you can try putting it together as I explain the different pieces. When you open your box, you should find 1. The Kegelmaster, 2. 4 springs made of surgical grade stainless steel, 3. A log for recording your bladder habits, 4. A custom carry case or satin travel pouch, and 5. The instruction booklet. We encourage you to read through the instruction booklet to reinforce what you're going to learn by watching this video. First, let's try putting the Kegelmaster together. You'll find a knob on the side of the plastic unit. Unscrew this knob by turning it counterclockwise. The knob will come all the way off the screw. Set the knob to the side. Now you can open and close the Kegelmaster freely. The bottom is a hinge. The unit does not come completely apart. The hinge is designed to help ensure that the pegs will always line up correctly and easily. When your Kegelmaster is open, you'll notice that each interior side has 4 plastic posts. Each post matches up with one on the other side when the unit is closed. So, starting at post 1, this is post 2, 3, and 4. It's time to add the springs that will give you the crucial resistance your muscles need to tone up. Take any of the 4 springs that came with the unit and slip one over post number 1, the post closest to the hinge. It should reach all the way to the bottom of the post. Fold your Kegelmaster closed. You'll need to guide the other end of the spring onto the matching post in order to close the unit properly. Do you feel the springiness? That's the resistance that's going to help you tone your muscles. While holding the unit closed, screw the knob back into place. Prior to using the Kegelmaster, you'll want to screw the knob down until it stops naturally. If you were preparing for a Kegelmaster session, you'd be ready to go. But before we discuss how to operate the Kegelmaster, let me show you what we mean when we say 15 levels of resistance. First, unscrew the knob about 8 turns. Because of the spring inside, the Kegelmaster now wants to separate. Try closing it and then letting it open again. The effort you have to put forth to close it is the resistance. Right now, with one spring on the first peg, you're experiencing level 1 of the 15 levels. That's exactly where you're going to want to start when you begin using the Kegelmaster. But with consistent use, it won't be long before you're ready to move up to the next level. The instruction booklet lists the various tension settings in order from the least resistance to the highest level. Basically, we achieve greater resistance by adding springs in different positions. So, for instance, when you've completed level 1 and are ready to move on to level 2, you're simply going to move the single spring from peg 1 to peg 2. To remove a spring, simply hold onto the side of it while opening the unit. Use care when removing the springs, especially from peg 1. Part of what makes them such a great part of the device is their springy nature. You don't want them to go flying. Then, move it up 1 peg. Remember that the springs are always going to be on matching pegs. That means you never want to use a spring to connect peg 1 on one side with peg 2 on the other. As your muscles get more toned and you move up through the resistance levels, you'll need to consult your instruction booklet for proper spring placement. You're going to be using different combinations of springs on different pegs, so you don't want to just wing it. Now that you understand how the Kegelmaster is put together, let's go over how to use it. Before your first use, you'll want to hand wash it in warm water with a mild soap. The knob and springs are made of surgical grade stainless steel. The first step is to add springs to match your current level of resistance. Today, we'll start with 1 spring on post 1. So, just open the unit, place a spring on the first post, match it up with the other side, and close the Kegelmaster. Screw the knob on so the 2 sides are touching. That means the Kegelmaster is in the closed position. Find a position that's comfortable for you. Most women like to lie on their backs with their knees bent and their feet flat, about 2 feet apart. Lubrication is a crucial step because it makes insertion and removal easier. You'll need a water-soluble, not an oil-based lubricant. Lubricate the vaginal area and the first 3 inches of the Kegelmaster, from the tip to what we call the flare. You're never going to insert the unit more than is comfortable for you, and never past the flare. Be sure that the unit is completely closed, and then insert it, knob side up, into your vaginal opening until it's firmly in place. It's designed to stop automatically at the flare. Now, at this point, some women feel the natural urge to do an abdominal push, but this isn't a Kegel exercise. In fact, it can even cause the Kegelmaster to slip out. So, to prevent this, use your hand to hold the unit in place until you are comfortable doing proper Kegel contractions. The motion you'll want is a squeeze, not a push. With the Kegelmaster inserted and the knob loosened to allow for resistance, you're ready to begin your exercise program. Try using your vaginal muscles to squeeze the Kegelmaster closed. Focus only on using your vaginal muscles, not your abdominals or gluteal muscles. Count to 2 and release. If you're able to move the Kegelmaster, you're on the right setting and you're doing the right exercises. But if you aren't getting movement, you need to try reducing or increasing your resistance until you feel pressure against the vaginal opening. Remember, you don't want to try too many springs at first. The idea is to get as much movement from the Kegelmaster as possible. And it doesn't have to close completely to benefit you. You can do as few or as many sets and reps as you wish, but we typically recommend 3 sets of 30 contractions. You can count 1, 1, 2, release. 2, 1, 2, release. And you can monitor the base of the Kegelmaster and feel the unit closing. When you've finished, tighten the knob by turning it clockwise until the Kegelmaster is in the closed position, and then gently twist from side to side and slowly pull straight back until the unit is removed. Remember to hand wash your Kegelmaster with a mild soap between each use, and make sure it's completely dry before you put it away for the day. Well, those are the simple steps that are going to help you get your muscles back in shape. It only takes minutes a day, but using the Kegelmaster can change your life. If you've purchased the Kegelmaster to help with a urinary incontinence problem, we recommend that you photocopy the bladder habit diary and use it on a weekly or monthly basis to track changes in your bathroom habits. Now, I'm going to answer some of the most frequently asked questions about the Kegelmaster. Who should not use the Kegelmaster? The Kegelmaster should not be used during the first 6 weeks after giving birth. However, some pregnant women use it to help prepare for childbirth, but always consult your physician first. Also, women who have had genitourinary or any other pelvic surgical procedure should also wait 6 weeks before using the Kegelmaster, unless given specific instructions by their physicians. The Kegelmaster shouldn't be used simultaneously with intravaginal devices such as tampons, diaphragms, or pessaries. How will I know it's working? During use, you'll know the Kegelmaster is working because you'll feel the unit contract. In your daily life, you'll know the Kegelmaster is working because you'll experience a reduction in urinary incontinence and increased sensation during sex. How long will I need to use the Kegelmaster? Your pelvic floor muscles are like any other muscle in your body. If you leave them alone too long, they'll become weaker or atrophy. So, even once you've treated the condition that you originally bought the Kegelmaster for, it can only help to keep using it on a regular basis. It's very important to remember to use the Kegelmaster every day at the beginning of your exercise program. Once you've achieved the results you want in alleviating incontinence or achieving increased sensation, then you can determine how often you need to use the Kegelmaster to maintain the health of these important muscles. Can the Kegelmaster open too wide inside my body? As long as you're comfortable and you can use your vaginal muscles to contract the unit, you don't need to worry about the Kegelmaster being open too wide. Stretching is actually good for the muscles. Just be sure you control the settings so the Kegelmaster never causes you pain, and the Kegelmaster will never make the vaginal area larger or stretched out. What if I experience spotting while using the Kegelmaster? A small amount of spotting, especially for women who are menopausal, postmenopausal, or have been sexually inactive for a long time, is normal. Continued use of the Kegelmaster will strengthen and tone your muscles and will eliminate the spotting. If you experience extended spotting or more intense bleeding for more than a week, discontinue use and consult your physician. Pregnant women who experience spotting should discontinue use until advised by a doctor. If you have more questions, call the toll-free number you'll find in the instruction booklet, and a female customer service representative will be happy to talk to you. Listen, it's no secret this device and the issues that probably led you to order it are considered somewhat taboo in our society. The bad news is there are millions of women who are struggling with the misery, self-consciousness, and embarrassment of urinary incontinence, or the frustration of a diminished sex life. But here's the good news. You've taken a major step in enhancing your own life. You're going to be impressed by the results you see in a short time, and you'll be amazed at the results after 30 days of use. And you now have the power and the knowledge to help others. Think about women you know who might be suffering in silence. Let them know that there's hope. You can be a positive force in your own life and the lives of women around you. Thank you so much. And remember to take time to take care of yourself. You're important to your family.
The Kegelmaster has just given me wonderful ability to know that I'm not going to have those spells of incontinence.
The Kegelmaster is excellent for women who want to strengthen their pelvic floor and enhance their sex life.
Using the Kegelmaster has made my sex life a whole lot more pleasurable than it was before.
Now that you've learned all about your Kegelmaster device and how to use it, I'd like to strongly encourage you to watch the group discussion that comes next. Knowledge is power, and this doctor-guided discussion will teach you so much about your body and muscles. As women, we need to be aware of our bodies and our feelings. We need to take care of ourselves, not just to keep ourselves in shape physically, but to ensure our emotional well-being. These women were so pleased with the results they saw from using the Kegelmaster that they agreed to sit down and talk frankly about their personal experiences with it.
After the birth of my son, I was feeling very insecure and I was a dancer and I had very strong muscles and I did all my prenatal Kegel exercises, and I was very disappointed at what happened, and I saw the brochure and I was like, I need to get it back.
Good. And Kathy?
Well, as I was getting older, I was in menopause and starting to worry about, how that was going to affect my sex life, and saw the Kegelmaster and wanted to do anything I could to, keep that part of my life satisfying. It's an important part for both me and my husband, and so I thought I would give it a try.
And Tammy?
Well, after my second childbirth, which was 10 years ago, I had a very hard childbirth, and I didn't come back to my normal weight or contract my muscles or anything like that, so the leakage got worse, and I saw the Kegelmaster and I tried it, and it's helped to strengthen my muscles.
Has it improved your confidence in terms of having sex with your husband?
Absolutely, because, getting older and you start to worry about it. You start to worry about whether you're still attractive, whether you're still desirable. And yes, it's increased my confidence a lot. He tells me how different sex is now since before when I wasn't using the Kegelmaster. So yeah, I feel real confident.
It's helped me to reconnect with my muscles, and it's helped with the slight incontinence I had, and with sexual pleasure also.
Oh, my confidence is extremely high, I must say, because if I sneeze and I don't have a leakage, that is like heaven to me.
My feeling from a physician's point of view is I don't want you coming to me telling me fix my stress urinary incontinence. I want you to try something like this before, because more than 90% of the time you will not need to go to surgery if you use a Kegelmaster. That is the way it is. It has been proven in prospective randomized trials that you have to have resistance in the vagina in order for you to understand how good at Kegels are you doing. Are you really doing it, and are you doing it right? So when you put this in, it should feel a little tight, a little resistance against the vaginal walls on purpose. Then you relax against that tension and then squeeze it up. And as you do that, then you are actually realizing that you're closing the device, so you're doing something, as opposed to you may be doing Kegels like you were discussing, just trying to sit in a chair, do it, or I think I can do it, I think I can do it, and not knowing whether you're doing it right. Now when you're sitting here all by yourself, you can do it and get the right muscles to work right. But before that period of time, if you learn it from some instructor somewhere who just says tighten it, most people are just tightening their butt. They're not actually learning how to tighten their vaginal muscles. One of the reasons why you have decreased sexual function sometimes after you have a baby or when you reach the postmenopausal area is because the muscles around the vagina and up around the clitoris and that vasculature is decreased. So one of the ways that you can increase is by using the Kegelmaster. You increase the strength of your muscles, you increase the blood flow to the area, you increase the blood flow to the clitoris, and the clitoris is a spongy material. The reason why it increases in size and responds at all is because it has increased blood flow to it. So the more you increase your blood flow to the muscles in the local area, the more you're going to increase the blood flow to the clitoral area. So that's the reason why your sexual satisfaction and your ability to have an orgasm, the orgasms are better, they last longer, you're a little more sensitive to the whole entire process. And there's been studies done with women who have never ever had an orgasm, that if you teach them how to increase their blood flow to that area, they will learn how to have orgasms. From a physician's point of view, when they first brought me the Kegelmaster, I thought there is no better way to introduce to someone. What I usually do is, at that 6-week visit, I do your pelvic exam and I put my fingers in the vagina and ask you to tighten, and then see how well can you do that. And if you're really kind of on your way to that and you can really get it to squeeze pretty good, then I'm okay with that. Otherwise, I make them start to do Kegels exercises on a regular basis. But now I have a device that I can actually recommend to them that they can use and take home. And you use it for a while, it works great, you forget to use it, you know exactly how to re-strengthen your muscles again and do it in a proper manner. So from a physician's point of view, it's a great thing to have in a doctor's office.
I'd like to congratulate you for taking this step toward helping your body and achieving a renewed sense of confidence and freedom.